Thank you for joining us on today's session. This is the second movement of the 42 standardized form, Grasp the Bird's Tail. Now, Grasp the Bird's Tail is one of those fundamental Tai Chi Chuan movements that you'll see a lot in TV. It is definitely one of the most graceful movements that we have, but it is also a reflection of multiple different styles. This is Yang, this is Wu, this is Sun. This is an amalgamation of a couple of different styles within this particular one. So our interpretation of this one is a little bit different, so we're going to, when we get to the demonstration of this, I want you to pay particular attention because it is a little different, and I'll talk about that when we get to that particular phase. But this movement also is a little deceiving because it's the second movement, but it actually has components of a couple different movements together. You go both forward and to the side, and then step forward to finish the movement up. So there's really about three or four main movements within this, but it's referred to just as the second movement. And we'll explain that here as we go through the demonstration. Okay. So we have gone through our beginning movement, cleansing breath, stepping out, and transitioning from here. Now this particular movement, what you're going to do is you're going to step forward after coming into a transition stance with a small ball. You're going to step forward with the left foot, heel, ball, toe. The left arm moves forward for a warding off movement. You have a nice rounded circular component here, and the right hand is then forward and in the front position. Okay? Some styles will do this back here. Their movement is more of a separating component. We do this particular one, and when we get to the application, you'll actually see why we do that particular one. So let's go through the full demonstration of this particular movement, and we'll start from here and come through, step forward, ward off, transition to a small ball, step to the right, ward off again, reach up, roll back, join, press, sweep the arm around to another ward off, turn the right foot to close, step forward, and press. That's the complete movement. Let's break it down a little bit so you can actually see how those particular pieces function. So, from here, again, shift the weight to the left, open the right, small ball, transition the weight to the right, bring the left foot in, and then forward. You're going to move into a mountain climbing stance here, keeping your small ball, and then lift the left arm forward for the ward off, and the right arm sinks in front. Okay? Now, this sinking here forms an arm bar, and we'll sort of see that movement as we go through. Grasp the bird's tail then from here is going to turn 90 degrees to the right. So in order to turn, most of the weight is here on my left foot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to transition my hands, bring them into position, pull the right foot forward, and then step out at a 90-degree angle. Now you need to be careful with your stepping on this. You can't just step to the side. You need to open your stance up a little bit, opening your hips here to step out, and then moving forward into warding off with the right hand. So again, a nice rounded motion here, and the left hand is supporting in front. So you come forward and boom, go into this particular position. Once you've reached here, the easiest thing here to do is just drop the elbow, lift the fingers up. We're going to do a roll back, turn the hands around, and then pull them down towards the left hip. As your hand gets in front, coil the right hand or the left hand around to join with the right hand, and then press forward. Now, at this particular point, now we're going to move into another ward off, and the traditional grasp the bird's tail continues with another movement. Here we're going to press, lift up, turn, and ward off. So this hand goes in a circular motion towards the back. This is deflecting around And then as you come and bring the weight around, you're shifting the weight to the left. So you can close the right foot, come around, then shift your weight to the right foot, pull the left foot in to a T stance and press forward. The way I teach this particular movement is especially at the end part of this, is after you've done the press, you are serving a pizza, sweeping it around, coming forward, and pushing the pizza against the wall. So you get that motion here. It's a circular motion. You're turning your hips slightly, bringing it forward, and you end the movement here to press forward as your left foot comes into a transition stance. Okay? At this particular point, this transition is the Sun style stance and the movement forward to go through. That's the end of Grasp the Bird's Tail, the second movement. So, common mistakes with this one. In a lot of cases here, as you step forward, you're coming in to turn out. People don't turn the right foot out and get it prepared. Remember, the right foot's going to be the back foot of your mountain climbing stance when you end up. So if you don't turn that foot, a lot of times you'll step forward and you'll be right on the same line with each other, and that's not really what you're trying for here. So what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to shift that weight, turn that right foot. That right foot should go about a 30 to 45 degree angle in this direction. So when you shift your weight over, pull that left foot in and step forward, you can flow that weight through. Now, one of the other common mistakes with this is as you do this is the stepping. Now, if you're not sure how to do the stepping, watch our stepping video with this one, but you want to make sure that you're in complete control of your movement. You set that foot down, then you let your weight flow forward as you go through this. You don't set the foot down and then come forward. So you want to keep everything in sync with each other. So as you're coming around here, stepping forward, let that weight flow. Another common mistake here is hand too high, hand too low. Okay? When you see the application of this, you'll get the intention of this. You want this in front of your body. The palm is facing your chest as you go through. And then as you transition to go in this direction, you just coil the right hand under to form another small ball. So from here, coil under. Now you're going to close the left foot. Again, in this direction, mountain climbing stance, the left foot is going to be 45 degrees in this direction. So you need to make sure that you shift the weight and close it. You bring that in, step forward, and again, nice and loose, nice and controlled. You want to make sure you're turning your waist as you come through this to flow through. Reaching up. Now the reaching up part here, your palm is facing towards you. As you reach up, your palm faces you. You need to coil that hand around, then turn it over, and then your rollback comes back. With the rollback, you've got to let the weight flow back. So the rollback is not my hands moving back, the rollback is my entire body moving back. Joining here at the chest and pressing forward. Another common mistake here is press forward so that your arms are straight. You keep these arms rounded. Okay? This press, you still have the roundness of this arm and the roundness of this arm as you press. And then you drop the elbow to come around. You don't just turn it. So as you press out here, drop the elbow, turn the palm up. This will catch, you'll see this in the application, this will catch and then do the proper warding off as you come around to the back. The left hand follows, so another common mistake is people will just let that hand just sort of hang out here. Oh, the right hand is doing all the work. No, the left hand is following it through, shifting around. As you bring the weight here, more weight is on the right. As you come around here, you've got to shift the weight to your left because you're going to close your right to step forward again. So that's sweeping around, shift, close the right foot, bring the left foot in as you press. And that finishes. The left hand follows it all the way through to press. So you've got to keep that. Almost think in terms of as if you were taking your pulse. Bring it around and pushing forward. Okay? All the way through, pushing forward. Again, all your other standard principles, you want to be vertical, you want to be set, you want to be settled within here, you want to make sure that you're keeping your waist open, not stepping straight line, stepping wider, keeping yourself stable with that. For the application of the second movement, grasp the bird's tail, you have several movements in one. So we're going to talk about each one of those as we go through. The first one is the importance of the small ball. Now in small ball, you've got a punch or something coming forward to here. So when you envision this punch coming in towards you, what you're going to do is you're bringing one hand up on top and one hand underneath on the bottom. What you need to focus with here is you've got to have soft, round, firm movements on here, so as you come across, you're turning here and stepping out. The roundness here takes my arm and bars against her bicep, and I am now in control of her hand. So here is my small ball. It looks like this from the other side. Punch coming in, I'm covering here. So here is my small ball. And then as I move into my other movement, so small ball is one of those movements where we have several transitions through here. So you'll see here is small ball for this one. And in this case, we're going to grasp the bird's tail. So the movement here is I'm bringing my hand forward here and sealing her arm. So my hand is supporting up with her elbow and the other hand is here. And so you remember the difference we said with the hand down here, it's a different movement. In the case of how we teach this, it's a simple lifting on here. So the slightest pressure here on the elbow will bring her up on her toes. But after we go through and we grasp the bird's tail here, we're going to grasp the bird's tail in the other direction. So the movement would look something like this. As we come through here, go through one, and then we're going to turn and we're going to do the movement in the other direction. So we remember we go from here, shift to the front, and then we turn, shift to the side. It's the same movement as we go through. So let's do for the other side here and get the perspective of a hand here blocking here. The next movement then, she's going to come in with the right hand. So what I'm going to do is she's pulling out her left here, so I'm turning up and rolling back to pull her off balance. So that roll back here, and we'll do it without her for a second, here we're bringing it up, turning over, grabbing, and pulling down. So the pulling down part off balances her as part of this. Okay, so we have that roll back part. We're going to join here with the hands and press forward. That's either controlling the wrist here or striking here with the movement. So either one of those two, think about which one of those you're doing. But then this one also carries on that motion here where there's also another ward off. So in this case, we're going to go to strike, but she's going to block. Now I need to ward off the motion here by deflecting out. So here is that part where I bring it up and I have to turn the wrist. I've got to cover over to bring it back around and then turn and push forward with it. So what that looks like without that movement is here, here, and here. Okay? Okay? From this particular movement, we have finished up our beginning movement. Now again, we're going to shift, come through, do the movement here, small ball, step forward, here, reach up, roll back, join, press, sweep, turn, and press. So that's the end of the second movement. The next movement you're going to go is you're going to go into single whip. So all you're going to do is drop the hand with your hook, step out to the left, and sweep through to single whip. Watch the single whip component and you'll tie the two of those together. So, thanks for joining us for this particular session. Thank you.